Yeah. This is a Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it right now.
I'm all excited. You see that?
Wait until they see the strength and here to win. This Black College Live, I'ma need 5 on it.
This is what it's all about.
Overtime on it. Lights out.
I'm gonna put him in the front runner seat to be the Black College Player of the Year.
This ain't for fun. I've been going done. They be still trying to clone it. From FAMU to Grambling, I'm on it. Stand on it. Marching 100 how you want it.
We always like to highlight the fraternities and sororities.
119!
What I wanna, big body. I don't even need a sponsor.
Homeboy was
I be
balling.
stacking comma at the comma. Kiss a guy with good karma. I get it different. I be working on my off day.
Gimme 5 Black College Live is presented by Pepsi.
Welcome into Gimme 5 Black College Live presented by Pepsi. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green. It's hot here in Florida.
Man, what a difference a week makes. Ask these young ladies behind us. Last week, they were freezing in the game up in Greensboro. Now they're hoping they can bring that warmth to the football team. If Bethune-Cookman can keep that winning streak going against the Rattlers from Florida A&M, this is the place to be right now.
8 years straight for the Wildcats.
How many years straight?
Hell, Wildcats. So they got to give their due and their love. All right, things that you need to know coming up on the show.
Give it to me.
The 5 things you need to know. We'll have the HBCU Power Rankings.
All right.
Of course, we got to talk about the importance of this game and the prediction as well.
Yep.
We're going to hear from Coach Willie Simmons of Florida A&M.
Yep.
What else? Gimme 5 is
that's what the people
important.
want all the time.
And we have a very special guest. Our friend from Pepsi are here with us today, so you'll get a chance to hear about how they got involved with Gimme 5 Black College Live. All right, Jay, as we look at the final weekend.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Here we go.
I rarely get to do this, so I'm going to do it now. So we got all these Wildcats around us, right? I don't hear you talking that FAMU junk now. You went to FAMU. Now you surrounded by Wildcats. Speak on it.
Wait a minute.
Speak
Don't
on
you
it.
like to say I give credit where credit is due? But we also have to talk about how the Rattlers are ranked 12th in the FCS poll. We have to also mention that they're undefeated in conference play to this point, and they are the hottest team in the HBCU landscape to date.
Man, those are some interesting facts, but Bethune-Cookman could care less about that. We'll talk about the game later. We'll debate that later.
Don't even start with it. Don't even start with it, because who owns the series?
BC.
FAMU owns the series. Let's go back to 19 straight. They got a long ways to go to try to pick up. But this is the final weekend in the MEAC. We will know who will go on to the Celebration Bowl. It comes down to North Carolina A&T and South Carolina State.
Yeah, it's some interesting storylines. I think obviously we know if North Carolina A&T wins their football game, then they will make it to the Celebration Bowl, which will be big. That'll be their 3rd consecutive Celebration Bowl. They're trying to have a little miniature dynasty there. However, I've been looking more into it, and I believe if A&T were to win, and let's suppose Florida A&M beats Bethune-Cookman again, I think South Carolina State makes it to the FCS playoffs. They'll have a quality record of 8-3. Their 2 losses will have come to 2 teams that were ranked in the top 25, and they've got that important victory versus Wofford, who won the Southern Conference to start the season. So I think Buddy Pugh and South Carolina State, they got to beat North Carolina Central, and they need the things to continue to play out the way they have, and look for 2 teams from the Mideast Athletic Conference to get some action in the postseason.
As we look ahead to the Aggies matchup with North Carolina Central, their in-state rival, that Aggie-Eagle Classic is going to be really interesting, because remember a couple of years ago it was the Eagles who knocked off and dashed the hopes of the Aggies.
Yeah, and this is big for Trey Oliver, first-year head coach for North Carolina Central. You make your mark as a coach by how you do against your rivals, and it gets no bigger down there in the state of North Carolina when it's Aggie-Eagle weekend. So he's got Isaiah Totten, one of my favorite players to cover the running back. They need to feed him. But what about North Carolina A&T? All that star power. The game's being played at North Carolina A&T. Elijah Bell, the wide receiver, his final game at home. When we know about Jermaine Martin, best running back in the conference, best running back in the country. We'll see what he can do. That's going to be an interesting matchup there in the Tar Heel State.
And then we move to the state of Mississippi when you're looking at Alcorn State and Jackson State. Again, Jackson State doesn't have much to play for except to try to knock off the Braves.
You know what? The kryptonite for Alcorn State over this fantastic run they've had the past 5 or 6 years has been Jackson State. They give them trouble at the end of the year. That's all they have to play for. John Hendricks, he needs to make his mark at Jackson State. It's been a disappointing season from them. They've been up, they've been down. When you talk about how can they win, get D.D. Bowie the ball. They got Jalen Jones, a quarterback, settle in on him, let him do his thing. And for Fred McNair, the most underrated coach in all the black college. Fred McNair can coach. He deserves everything that he gets. He's got the Braves playing football at a high level, and Felix Harper, their quarterback, we know how special he's become.
The Braves get a chance to win this weekend. They will repeat as SWAC champions of the East and try to defend their title as SWAC champions as a whole. Now we look at your HBCU power rankings, Jay's HBCU power rankings.
Yes.
And I know it pained you a couple weeks ago to put my Florida A&M Rattlers up at the top, and they haven't fallen off. So I'm curious to see, do they remain?
Florida A&M has the best record of every HBCU out there. However, they haven't played a pressure-filled game yet. This game is pressure right here. So I'm going Florida A&M number 1. Willie Simmons, the Millennium 2.0, continues. He's done a great job. We talked about Alcorn. They've been head and shoulders above most of the conference in the SWAC. Fred McNair's job there, they're fantastic. Number 3, I'm going with North Carolina A&T, the team that you're probably going to see in the Celebration Bowl. Give Coach Sam Washington credit. He's done a good job. They still control their own destiny. Their conference loss came to Florida A&M in Tallahassee on the road, and they lost in overtime with 2 players ejected. Number 4, South Carolina State. I told you, I think that's a surprise team this year. They get to the postseason, they're going to be good. How about Southern University at the end? They still control their own destiny. Not quite making my list, call it on the bubble. Bowie State, good luck to them this week, undefeated regular season Division II. And I'm going with Grambling State.
Oh, yeah.
I was impressed with Grambling. That's a championship caliber defense. You may hear from the G-men again.
I gotta say that Bethune-Cookman wasn't there. I just want to make mention of that. Since you like to throw shots, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my shot right back at you. But when you think about this rivalry here in the state of Florida, the oldest college football rivalry between these two foes, what does the Florida Classic mean to you just from the outside looking in?
From an outsider, you think about everything, the speed, all the speed in football, you think about the beaches and everything else, but it's going to get physical up in there, so I can't wait to give you my Give Me 5. Was that my tease?
That was
my
a little
Give Me 5
tease
things
for the
you need to
Give Me
know about the Florida Classic.
But this is also a terrific atmosphere from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, and when we come back, we'll get a chance to talk with the Vice President and CFO of Pepsi, Chauncey Hamlet. You'll want to stay tuned to hear what he has to say. Welcome back. Keep going.
Stick and stay with Tiffany and Jay. They'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody clap your hands. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out. Oh, yeah. Cha-cha, real smooth.
This December 21st, the best in HBCU football will collide in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl. MEAC versus SWAC. Champion versus champion. Only one team will rise above the rest and claim the coveted Celebration Bowl trophy. Come join the celebration at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this December. For more information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
This week's Celebration Bowl Star Watch is Alabama A&M running back Jordan Bentley. He had a once-in-a-lifetime, as he said it, performance, going for 245 yards on the ground, setting school records for career rushing, single-season rushing record, and the single-season and career touchdowns. He had 4 in his last game. That young man has done a terrific job, one of 16 seniors for the Bulldogs, capping off a terrific 4-year career with Alabama A&M. Welcome back into Give Me 5 Black College Live. On the set with me, Chauncey Hamlet, the VP and Chief Marketing Officer for Pepsi South Division. And you'll notice behind us, it says presented by Pepsi. So you all decided to sponsor us and join on with us. Talk about why was it important to get involved with Black College Live?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me, Tiffany. I think, first of all, we're huge fans of you and Jay and the show and the platform, so I think that's first and foremost. I think in general, black college football, I mean, it has a long history, but I think right now, like, it's really on the brink of really breaking through. And if you kind of look what's happening in culture, what's happening in sports, the buzz around black colleges and black college football is really there. So for us, having just a long history in the African American community and also just a strong tie to sports and media and marketing, we thought it was only right that we partnered with you guys on this platform.
And you all are also involved on HBCU campuses, starting off with campaigns. Can you dive in a little deeper in the way that you're contributing on HBCU campuses?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have several initiatives going on. I would say the one that comes top of mind is our partnership with Essence Media, focusing on African American women at HBCUs, both undergrads and also alum, connecting the two together with this platform called She Got Now. And this platform is a really exciting platform. We've gone to several campuses around homecoming season. Of course, FAMU was one we kind of kicked off our activities. We've been to Howard, we've been to Norfolk State, Hampton, and several other schools as well. So we're really excited about just our involvement with the schools so far.
How many Florida Classics have you attended? Is this your first?
This is my first. This is my first official attendance.
Okay.
Right? I've gone. So I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. So I've gone casually. This is my first time officially attending as a partner.
How have you watched it grow over the years, and what have been your takeaways?
Well, I think personally, this platform right here. I think watching what you and Jay are doing, in combination what's happening in the Florida Classic. Of course, the attendance is always increasing, but I just think that the platform of the Florida Classic is really elevated, and I'm excited to see what's involved for the future.
All right, we appreciate your time, Chauncey Hamlet of Pepsi, and when we come back, Jay will sit down with Florida A&M head coach Willie Simmons on the other side.
Stick and stay with Tiffany and Jay. They'll be right back after these messages.
It's MEAC football season, and things are about to get wild. Could the Aggies bury the Bison? Or will the Bears make a run at the ratings board? Will the Rattlers strike before the Bulldogs bite? Will the Eagles sink their talents into the title, or feel the Hornets sting? Could the Wildcats wrap their jaws around victory, or will the Spartans win out in the hunt? It's the road to the 2019 Celebration Bowl. May the wildest team win.
Right now, the energy level picked up a little bit. Coach, before you got here, it was Wildcat deep. But guess who showed up? The head coach of the Florida A&M Rattlers, Willie Simmons. Ladies, give it up for the football coach. Give it up. The Millennium 2.0 was better than Millennium Part 1. Now, Millennium Part 1 was great, but it didn't end so well in this game right here. What are the Rattlers going to do different this year that they couldn't do last year against Bethune-Cookman?
Well, I think we'll just stay true to our motto this year, which is fight to finish. We set that motto the moment this game was over last year. We realized we didn't have a great ending to last season. And so these guys committed themselves to seeing everything all the way through. And this is the culmination of 12 months worth of work, and we'll see what happens today.
My, oh my, how things have changed. I mean, think about it. In 2 short years, Florida A&M has come in, and you guys are now the #1 team in HBCU football in 2 years. How did you pull that off, Willie? How did you do it? I want to know. Give me the secret.
Well, the secret is, I think, of the 14 seniors that we'll see play their last game in Orange and Green. Led by Ryan Stanley,
quarterback,
Elijah Richardson, Mike linebacker, Terry Jefferson, our nickelback. Those guys really took everything that we brought to this program and ran with it. And they got the other guys to buy in, and that's really what happened. I mean, we didn't do anything special. We used the same formula that we've used everywhere we've been. But this senior class is one of the best I've ever been around, if not the best. And I think that's why you see the immediate turnaround.
Well, and you got the local ties, right? You're, from down the road, from Tallahassee over there in Quincy, Florida, your hometown. You wanted this job. You got this job. Now, last year was your first time coaching in the Florida Classic as a head coach. Now, this is your second year. What can we expect? What's the difference? What does it mean to coach in the Florida Classic?
Well, obviously everything comes down to this game. In Rattler Nation, once you do the first 10 weeks, it's nice. But of course, this is the icing on the cake. And so, again, there's no added pressure on this football team, though. They had a great week of preparation. They've done the little things right that we've asked them to do. And now it's just a matter of the next 3 hours, them doing the little things right. And if we do that, stay true to our 7 F's, I think we'll continue to play good football like we played all year.
All right, now you know me. You know my job is never easy. I got to call like I see it, right? So I was teasing because last year you had us going. You were talking about 7. What was number 7? That was the completion. Because Bethune-Cookman, they beat y'all 7 straight years. You said it was over with. Well, now we got a new number. I'm looking at the number 9. If they beat y'all, it'll be 9 wins in a row. So what you got to say to keep the streak at 8?
Well, again, this football team, this 2019 football team, has never lost in the Classic, and so that's been our mindset all year. We haven't thought about the streak. We haven't talked about the streak. We talked about for the next 3 hours playing our best football, and we feel like we've done the right things all year. We feel like the guys are ready to play, and that's their focus. If they get caught up in the streak and trying to put the weight of 9 games on their shoulders, it'll probably be too much. We just got to be 1-0 today, and I think our guys are dialed in, ready to go 1-0 today.
All right, well, we appreciate you joining us, and before we let you go, what you got to say to that Rattler Nation out there, the support they've been giving you?
Well, the Rattler Nation has been amazing all season. We've set attendance records. They've gotten behind these young men, and we're just excited about today's game, and as always, we're looking forward to seeing Rattler Nation strike and strike and strike again.
All righty, now you heard it. Florida A&M head coach Willie Simmons. We'll have more Black College Live, including my Gimme 5 things you gotta know about the Florida Classic. This is Gimme 5 Black College Live, presented by Pepsi. We'll be back.
Day by day get better and better. Day by day get better and better. I seen that can't be beat. I seen that can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat. Catch that beat. Catch that beat. Day by day get better and better. Day by day get better and better. I seen that can't be beat. I seen that can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat. Catch that beat. Catch that beat. Day by day get better and better. Day by day get better and better. I seen that can't be beat. I seen that can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat. Catch that beat. Catch that beat. Oh wow.
Stick and stay with Tiffany and Jay. They'll be right back after these messages. We are the SWAC. Our heritage lifts us to great heights because my history is forged by trailblazers. That motivates me today to focus on my future. We are the SWAC. We are the new trailblazers. And this is my heritage.
It became a classic. It became a classic real quick.
It's the 40th annual Florida Blue Florida Classic.
Everybody's been real friendly, but it's time for those families to separate. Now's the time where the husband and wife, where you got that Bethune-Cookman FAMU connection, now they go to separate sides of the stadium, separate sides of the field. We're going to get down around here.
Yeah, let's just for a second, let's look. See, we got some maroon and gold, a little red pop in there, but you like the snake skin behind it?
That's like a neutral. That's a neutral.
Wait a minute, what Willie Simmons told you, Rattlers strike, strike, and strike again. All right, so it's time for Gimme 5.
All right, so here we go. You know, I'm the outsider here, so I'm going to tell you the 5 things you need to know about the Florida Classic, all right? Right? Number 1 is Florida, right? So I'm going to say 5 is it's the golf, it's the sun, it's the fun, the camaraderie. I should have put food on there, too, because they got some real good eating here, but we'll catch up to that. Number 4, speaking of food, how about them conch fritters?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you spell it, I don't know how to cook it, but I know when you come down here to Florida Classic, it's conch fritters everywhere. Am I saying that right?
You got it.
Conch fritters.
Right.
All right, number 3. This is the loudest classic in the country. You talking about the marching 100 from Florida A&M. The Wildcats.
That was good.
You're going to see it. Now, number 2 going to upset some people, but you got to know this. Bethune-Cookman has won 8 in a row. Hey, they wondering why they got to come back. A rivalry is supposed to go like 4-4, but Bethune is hot. And I think the number 1 reason about the 2019 Florida Classic, it matters. This game matters. Florida A&M trying to clinch an HBCU national championship. Bethune-Cookman trying to stay on top. This game matters. And the last thing I'm going to say on the bubble, I learned this over the years. Hey, down here, you know, they start talking like that, yo. And you know, you gotta have that goal, you gotta have them rims and that base. You know what I'm talking about? I need them rims and that base. They will put the toe strong rims down here. They will do it. And then the whole song, all you've been hearing is that bass, that doom, that doom.
Ain't no way you gotta hear that not in your trunk. You gotta have it right now.
So that's what I say about the 5 things you gotta know about the Florida Classic 2019. I did all right.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Good job. We'll be back with more game prediction. Of course, we're gonna hear Jay's take. We'll come back.
Stick and stay with Tiffany and Jay. They'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody clap your hands. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out. Oh, yeah. Cha-cha, real smooth.
This December 21st, the best in HBCU football will collide in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl. MEAC versus SWAC. Champion versus champion. Only one team will rise above the rest and claim the coveted Celebration Bowl trophy. Come join the celebration at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this December. For more information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Welcome back to Give Me 5 Black College Live. You see the fans decided to stay with us for our final segment. We got to talk about game prediction.
Yes.
You know, since FAMU started the season in Orlando, they're in it here. Okay? Yep. They've gone on a 9-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for Bethune-Cookman, they were in MEAC contention until they lost last weekend against the Aggies. But like you said, Jay, that doesn't matter. It's a rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game.
All that is out the window, and it's all hands on deck for both teams. Your prediction and this preview.
Yeah, well, you know, we have to call the game, so obviously I'm not going to predict it. We got chef coach to do that. But there are reasons why each team can win this football contest. And I think first and foremost, for Florida A&M, it all starts with Ryan Stanley. It's Stanley, the senior. He's never beaten Bethune-Cookman since he's been the starting quarterback. If they can get some quarterback play from Stanley, the career leader in passing yards and attempts and all that, he needs to show up in this game here today. That's the reason they can do it. Elijah Richardson on defense, they fly around the football. However, I think Bethune-Cookman, they've got that swag. Until Florida A&M proves that they can win this classic in recent memory, that gives Bethune-Cookman a chance. Florida A&M has been the better team all season long, but can they prove it today? Can they change the course of history? It's going to be a fantastic contest. Everything points Florida A&M. However, everything points to number 9. Bethune-Cookman winning 9 in a row. I'm not going to call it. We're going to bring in our coach in here. I'm hungry.
Coach,
give me some food.
What you got?
Give me some food. Give me some food. Hold on. You know, like we always do. Whoa. We always describe the food first. Okay. We got some ribs, brought some sausage. We got some wings. So I'm going to let you, I want some ribs today. I'm going to get some ribs. Now, coach, you need this one. You're one game above 500 on the year, right? Whoa. He's tipping it off. He got a Bethune-Cookman chain on.
No.
Are the Rattlers going to strike, and strike again? We're going to find out.
You picked it up already, Jay. Make sure you catch the live broadcast on ESPN News at 3:30 p.m. We look to see you there. For Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. How's that food?
Hey, coach's predictions, they suspect, but this food is right on time.
Yeah, this is is a Gimme 5 show with Jay Walker and Tiffany. Yeah. You gon' have to give me 5 fingers on it right now. Wait until they see the strength and hear the win. This Black College Live, I'ma need 5 on it. If they put overtime on it, lights out.